What is your Timmons here? With new Hunger Games film out this week, which is of course Hunger Games Battle of Songbird and Snakes. This week I am going to be doing my reviews for the Hunger Games franchise, starting all the way back with the 2012 one. Well, of course, the Hunger Games. Now, the Hunger Games came out all the way back on March 23rd, 2012, and was directed by Gary Ross, who is known for directing the movie Seabiscuit, Pleasantville. So, interesting filmmaker to direct us. And it is based on a book by Suzanne Collins, and and of course, stars Jennifer Lawrence, who was coming off of obviously coming off of playing Mystique in X Men Days in X Men First Class. She of course got her first ever Oscar nomination for Winter's Bone. But I guess you could say this is actually the movie that really put her on the map for most people. Of course, if you guys don't know much about the story here, it takes place at capital of Panem, where mountains where of course there it holds its 12th district by forcing them to each select a boy and a girl called the tribute to compete for a nationally televised event called the Hunger Games. And so here you got Jennifer Lawrence who plays Katniss Everdeen, who's District 12 tribute, who ends up pretty much replacing filling in for her sister here. So she has to a little to rely other than her hunting skills and sharp instincts here, and of course she must weigh in for the survival against love, because of course you got Peter Mellark played by Josh Hudson, and so of course they have both to compete in the Hunger Games and elaborate and of course consisting of adolescent contestants of 12 District of Pan Am here. And now this one was actually in development for quite some time, all the way back in 2009. I remember when they were first talking about this, I'm like, I have never heard of the Hunger Games because I'm not really much of a book reader. But I was actually interested to see but this of course her what it was about, and I was like, maybe this could be an interesting story here. But man, the cast in this is really good. Of course, you had Liam Hemsworth, who of course there's a little bit of a love triangle between him, Jennifer Lawrence, and Josh Hudson. Woody Harrelson's great. Donald Sutherland as President Coroner Snow is great. You of course have Jack Quaid, who obviously will go on to play Richie in Scream 6 and most recent The Boys. Of course, you have Amanda Stenberg. I can say this was of course on one of her earliest roles. Of course, she'll go on to do The Hate You Give. She's in the upcoming Acolyte. You also have Willa Shields playing Katniss's sister, who Katniss ends up replacing with. Of course, you had Isabel Fermi was great, Alexander Ludwig, Levin Rebin. I mean, you even had Toby Jones popping up in this, Lenny Kravitz. I mean, it had an interesting cast. I would not expect you to be in a film like this. But of course, after the success stuff Harry Potter, Twilight, studios were trying to get what could be the next YA adaptation. I mean, some of them could work like the Hunger Games, and some of them not, like Divergent and stuff like that. But Hunger Games worked. The action was pretty cool. Jennifer Lawrence was great in this. I like the scenery of Pan Am. I mean, I thought this was a really fun, entertaining one. I mean, the whole story about these kids have to kill each other and one has to survive is something interesting, and something we will of course go on to see in other stuff like the Belko experiment, the Hunt. But of course, there was Battle Royale as well, so there's that. But this is definitely a really fun one. Great performances by the cast. I love the archery stuff. Jennifer Lawrence really does well when it comes to the archery stuff. I could not do that in one bit. But yeah, of course, it will go on to garner 3 other sequels, which I'll talk about this week. But if you guys have not really seen the first Hunger Games, it's on Peacock. Give it a go. I remember watching this one in theaters. I had a fun time with it. I just thought it was really entertaining to watch. Really cool cast of characters, and of course, the Hunger Games made a really good dough here. Made about 694.4 million. Yeah, talk about massive hit right there. Anyway, let me let you guys. Have you ever seen 2012's The Hunger Games? If so, what's up? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you even a fan of this franchise? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This here's Timmy signing out.